Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group.
An absolutely gorgeous day at Turner Field. Cubs look to even their series at 1 game apiece with the Braves. Jake Arrieta to the bump today. He looks to join Steven Strasburg, Chris Sale as the major's only 10-game winners. We'll have it for you here in a little bit at Comcast Sportsnet. Hello and welcome into Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. He is Todd Hollandsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Okay, you shake off a performance that after the game, Jason Hayward said, we weren't flat. We just got out-pitched, man. The guy pitched better.
Yeah, I mean, I would admit to that. But when you look at the game and you kind of break it down, you know, the Braves, they had 2 sack bunts, 2 sack flies, a hit and run, a stolen base, a couple home runs. The Cubs on offense, you know, it just kind of had that feel to it. I mean, what you look at when that game started was that the Cubs are the best team in the baseball and the Braves the worst. We're starting with the wins and the losses, right? As simple as that. And then you get into the game itself and how it plays out. I talked an awful lot about ground balls yesterday. They just did not seem to get in gear. Let's hope they get into gear today, because I know what? Jake Arrieta will be in gear.
Anthony Rizzo, who was sidelined yesterday with back stiffness, will play today. He is in the starting lineup. Here is Joe Madden just moments ago.
He went down and took some swings and felt really good. So he's playing.
Okay.
That's it.
And you said it was just a day-to-day.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday it just kind of locked up on him. I think it was also one of those things where, you know, when it happens, you're afraid to test it kind of a thing. And I think once he tested it, he found that I'm okay. And that's what led to him, I'm ready to go.
How does not having Rizzo change the whole dynamic?
Well, just read the lineup. You know, it's like, it's when you read a novel. I mean, if it's missing a paragraph or even a chapter, when you put his name in the lineup looks different. Everybody else hits from a different position or power point because he's there. The other team looks at it differently. So it's very important to have him in the lineup.
With the way Almora's played in left field, it adds a real different dynamic there. When Soler comes back, would there be any hesitation, or how do you think you'd do that?
My first thought is, of course, Soler comes back and he plays. Of course he does. My second thought is what Albert can do is really, you know, put his best foot forward and show us that he's ready to play in the big leagues and then make the decision difficult. But I just imagine a lineup the last couple of nights, like put Soler in a lineup and what it looks like, what he's capable of doing. Albert's done a great job. But you could also see what George's presence means in a lineup. And I think too many people forget what he just did last year in the playoffs, which was pretty exceptional. So whenever somebody leaves and somebody comes in and does something well quickly, all of a sudden you want to forget about this dude and let's embrace this new guy. All it means is that we have a lot to look forward to in the future. We have all these different young guys with different skill sets, and then it's up to us to match them on a nightly basis. But believe me, man, everything Albert's done, I mean, even like that throw back in quickly last night to second base that caused me to ask those questions would not have occurred. I'm betting, I don't know, 90-some% of the outfielders would not have thrown the ball in that quickly to Zobrist and permitted that inadvertent stepping on second base that caused the conversation. He just does everything right.
All right, so there's Joe Madden this morning. So with Soler out, and we don't know when he's coming back, but it doesn't seem to be a severe strain. It seems like a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks. With him out, who would you like to see get the most starts in left field?
Well, I think it's a little complicated to answer it head on. I think, you know, what we've learned about Joe Madden is we like to mix and match. He likes to mix and match his lineup on a daily basis. Play the lefty. Lefty's going. Maybe we see Chris Bryant out there. You know, if there's favorable stats, how it goes. I mean, I think that's really what it's going to be. But with that being said, Almora's earning more playing time. I think that's the question really that we're asking. The question is, should he be the everyday answer? Well, even when Kyle Schwarber was out there, he wasn't the everyday answer. We know how Joe likes to do things. So I don't think it's going to be as simple as saying, well, he's playing great defense, he's getting some hits, he's starting to contribute, the story's getting better and better and better, he should be out there every day. I just don't think it's going to go there because I don't think that's the way Joe runs this team. So to be perfectly honest, has he earned more playing time? Absolutely. Has he become an answer in a game in which he doesn't start, say in the 6th inning in a double switch? Absolutely. Would you pinch hit for him at a spot in the lineup where it might be a favorable matchup? Absolutely. He's starting starting to earn all those things. That's what's important with this story. I don't think it has to be one of he needs to get 15 starts between now and the time Jorge Soler comes back. It needs to, is he establishing himself as a big leaguer? Is he contributing to this team that plays with a high level of expectation and is the best team in baseball? And is he living up to the billing? And so far he has.
No question about it. And defensively, wow.
One of the best.
Good.
Yeah, he's proven to be very good.
All right, let's look at the Cubs lineup brought to you by Wrigleyville Sports. Here we go. This is the card that manager Joe Madden takes out to home plate today. It has Fowler, Hayward, Bryant, Anthony, Rizzo, Zobrist, Coghlan, Montero, Russell, and Arrieta. So Chris Coghlan getting his first start.
Yeah, Cog's back in there. You know what? He earned it. Yeah, good at bat yesterday. If you looked at the box score, you saw an 0 for 1. But if you watched the game last night, you saw him line out to second base. I kind of made this play on Cogs. You know, he had his struggles with the A's. Things didn't go as probably planned. Again, it was an opportunity to play every day, but he's back with the Cubs now. I really do have a feeling that it's not going to be mechanical, mental, or anything. As soon as he put the Cub uniform on, you're going to start to see him swing the bat, and he's going to be a big contributor as this season moves on. You've heard Joe say that he's going to be in a lot of different spots, but he earned his playing time last year. All of those 400-plus ABs that he got last year or so, he earned them because he swung the bat consistently, especially against righties.
All right, so this offseason, Jason Hayward signed an 8-year, $184 million deal with the Cubs. Now, we know he's struggling, and people on Twitter, oh, my God, is this guy not going to work out? Is he going to be a bust? So I said to Dan Vega, our producer, I said, Vegas, do me a favor. Go back to 2002 and look up Moises Alou, who came in here as a heralded free agent signing and really got off to a bad start. This is, you go back to June the 10th, Moises Alou was actually worse than Jason Hayward. Look how awful his numbers were. And we know how good a hitter he became. And I remember going to Mo after that season and doing a sit-down with him, and he said, I had no idea. He goes, I'd been in the National League. He goes, just to change the day games, Wrigley, the intensity of the Cub fan base, it was totally, totally different. Alou ended up hitting .275 that first year, 15 bombs and 61 knocked in. So people that are already down on Jason Hayward, he's a proven commodity.
Well, and to say this about Mo, I played with Mo. I mean, Mo's one of the best right-handed hitters that I've ever played with. And that being said, you're right. You see the struggles right there. Now, listen, when it comes to what Jason's done, sure, this conversation in a lot of ways, and you were expressing to me this yesterday, you know, that Mo probably took a little bit more heat because the story was different. Yeah, the Cubs have been doing a lot of winning, so I think that the tone with Jason and his struggles has been a little bit different. Not too many people have been kind of keying in on it. There's been conversation, but, oh, by the way, we've got 41 wins on the season. You know, yeah, like everything else is going right. Here's what you know. The two have separated themselves. Even though he's had struggles at the plate, he's played stellar defense. He continues to run the bases as well as anybody. He's working through some things. Anybody at the major league level, myself included, did it for 12 years. You're going to go through these things. You hate that it's out in front. You hate that it's attached to his new deal, his new uniform, his Cubs team here. But it is what it is. He's going to get it right, and he's going to get it back. Don't forget, he came here from the Cardinals last year. He had a fantastic season with the St. Louis Cardinals. He was a big part of their offense. In fact, I remember just telling you just the other day, remember the playoffs, he was hitting fourth for crying out loud. So he's got to find his confidence. You know, I don't know if playing every day is the right answer. Maybe backing off a couple days of work. I know Joe's trying a lot of different things to get him going, but that's what the approach has to continue to be until his confidence goes through the roof. Cap, he needs to hit one of those stretches where it's not that isolated 4 for 4 or, like he did the other day, 2 for 4, and he looked like he was swinging the bat really well and kind of were expecting that yesterday. He needs a good 5-7 days where his stroke starts to make sense to his mind, and when that happens, you're going to watch him take off.
All right, so you signed a big money deal and you came to Chicago.
When? At any point in my career, when was that?
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
He signs this big money deal. He comes over here. Do you think that he is feeling the pressure like, oh, boy, I got all this money. I got to find a way to turn it around, and now it's one thing on top of another, and the pressure gets bigger on your shoulders? Or John Lester said, you know what, I started a little slow. I had a little dead arm. The bone chip that he deals with, it was a bit of an issue. And all of a sudden, he's like, everybody's going, boy, what's wrong with John Lester? Do you think he's feeling the same thing?
I think he is. I really do. I think I would be. I mean, again, you don't sign $184 million deals really more than once in your life. There's very few that have gotten the opportunity to live through a big deal and then live through another big deal. So when you think about it, it was the deal that everything everything in his world, not just his major league career, his minor league career, his years playing youth baseball, everything led to that moment, signing that contract, coming to Chicago, and then living up to it. So it weighs on you. It weighs on you whether the money's there or not. I got to be honest with you. I went through the struggles without the money. It didn't even matter, big money contract. I would go through those, and, man, I'd run my head into a wall trying to figure it out. My wife, Mars, she used to get on me all the time. I'd stay after games for 2 hours in the cage trying to get my swing right. So it is work, it is processing. But the one thing that I have learned now that I've done it, lived it, and now I get to talk about it on the flip side is that if he's beating himself up in the head, he's got to stop doing that, because the bottom line is that's where you're actually making the majority of your mistakes, is in your head. You're putting too much pressure on yourself in those situations. But hard to believe, hard for me to answer it any other way than to think that he came here because of the big deal, because of the opportunity and the dollars that went along with it, and he wants to live up to those dollars. So, I mean, I have to believe that it's probably weighing on him a little bit.
All right, let's take a look at the lineup for the Atlanta Braves. And here's what they will trot out. Ender Inciarte, Chase Darno, Freddie Freeman, who's one of their better players, although he's at 247 this year. Nick Markakis, Adonis Garcia, AJ right in the middle of things always. The catcher, Chase Peterson, Matt Wisser, who's been very good, and Malix Smith. And they got their pitcher hit in the 8th spot.
Yeah, they did that last night. And again, Bud Norris had a couple of sacrifice bunts to go along with the single. You see A.J. Przinsky in there as well, old A.J. in there. Great numbers against Jake Arrieta. It's interesting. I kind of went back and looked at it. A little bit of that is White Sox / Baltimore Orioles. But interestingly enough, one of the few hitters around baseball. 538 in his career against Jake Arrieta. There aren't too many people that can boast that.
All right. Time for our first break here on Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. Coming up, we've got Jake Arrieta's streak coming to an end last start, but today he's trying to start a brand new one and become just the 3rd pitcher in the big leagues to win 10 games. We'll have a preview of the pitching matchup and Holly's keys and more when we return.
Cubs Pregame Live is presented by Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter. See Fields first. FieldsAuto.com.
Once the Miller family went to Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, they never went anywhere else.
Didn't need to.
In fact, the Millers have purchased so many cars from Fields, their neighbors think they are the Fields.
Hi, Mrs. Fields. They just make everyone feel like family.
Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. The bigger the family, the better.
See Fields first. Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Glenview at the Glen. Fields matters because you matter.
The Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation and the Bono family have teamed up to knock cancer out of the park. Order your Italian beef the Rizzo way, and Bono will donate to my charity. I'm proud to be working with the Cubs and the Bono family, 2 Chicago originals.
Order it the Rizzo way at your local Bono restaurant.
Danley's is offering an incredible deal. Get $1,500 off any Danley's garage. With over 200,000 satisfied customers since 1959, Danley's is the best garage builder in Chicago for price, quality, and service. That's right, all sizes and all styles are on sale now. And with $1,500 off any Danley's garage, we are keeping money in your pocket. So call Danley's today, 773-GARAGE.
In your garage and quality, depend on Danley. That's why we're #1.
Wow, bear season was incredible, but it was absolutely freezing. So Wrigleyville Sports helped me warm up for bull season. They were on fire all year long. Then came the Blackhawks, and they got hot too. But now the boys of summer are back, and it's time to head to the south side. On second thought, it's a perfect day to get some sun in the bleachers.
What famous American has covered more territory than any other? Hint, it's not a person. Celebrate 75 years of endless adventure today at the Jeep Drive and Discover event. One drive and you'll discover why Jeep is the most awarded best-selling SUV brand. Get 0% APR for 75 months or $3,000 combined cash allowance plus $500 bonus cash on 2016 Cherokee models.
This Cubs Injury Report is brought to you by ATI Physical Therapy, taking physical therapy to a higher level. Ask your doctor about ATI Physical Therapy. Get there.
A beautiful day for baseball down in Atlanta, where the Cubs look to even the weekend series with the Braves. Jake Arrieta goes to the hill. Cubs 41-18, the Braves 18 and 42. Cubs Pregame Live is presented by the Fields Auto Group. Cap and Holly with you. Let's take a look at today's pitching matchup brought to you by Bona, the original Italian beef. Holly, tell us about today's matchup.
Well, you got Matt Whistler going today for the Atlanta Braves. You got Jake Arrieta going for the Cubs. Now, Whistler, he's coming off one of his worst starts of the season. Well, in fact, I'll call it his worst start of the season. The Dodgers absolutely lit him up. Had some issues with his secondary pitches. Long ball, as I just said, 3 home runs was part of it. We're seeing highlights against the Giants. That wasn't actually his last start. So, again, when he's good, he's getting a mix of ground balls and fly balls. The fastball's leading the way. He's got a good curveball, decent slider, and he's one of the better Braves pitchers. But, again, coming off a bad start. Pair that with the start he made last year, that's right, against the Cubs at Wrigley Field, August 23rd, 2015. Cubs teed him up for 4 home runs. They got him good. So, this is a favorable matchup for our Cub hitters today, and I'm really expecting good things to happen, and that's exactly the way that I see it. Whistler's coming into this one, probably working on that secondary stuff. Like to see the Cubs offense get out today, get on that fastball. Don't let him settle in and find those secondary pitches.
All right, Jake Arrieta suffered his first defeat since last July when Cole Hamels threw a no-no at the Cubs. He's looking for his 10th win on the year. He's second in the National League in ERA with a sparkling 1.80. He'll be opposed by Matt Whistler, 2-6, with a 3.98. But when you look at Jake hasn't quite been, oh my God, eye-popping. Very, very good. Yeah. Even when he threw the no-hitter early in the game, he was all over the place, a little sloppy as he put it.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been like you saw him last August when, my God, I got
Well, it's a great point, Cappy, and here's why. Because I think we all think the same thing going back to what his last start was. He gives up 3 earned runs over 5 innings, strikes out 12. But I went back and looked at this and dug up some stuff on it, and it's actually, statistically speaking, one of his best performances ever, and here's why. He was throwing 96, 97 down in the zone. He was dominating hitters. The contact that was made against him just happened to be that kind of contact that is the game of baseball. It wasn't lasers all over the field. There was, if I remember correctly, 2 hard-hit balls. These were floaters, balls in the hole, 16 hoppers that just seemed to get through the holes. Again, 3 earned runs over 5. But again, talking about the 2-seam fastball, the bad contact that he was getting, it technically was one of his most dominating performances, even though it was a loss.
All right, so let's talk about how he attacks this Atlanta lineup. He's got to think in his mind, okay, the Cubs should score some runs. They had a flat spot last night. They should give him some support. What's his game plan, his approach today?
Well, I think today, going up against the Atlanta Braves, he's going to attack the low zone. It really would be to his advantage. And if you think back to that Arizona Diamondback start, it's exactly what he did well. You saw 96, 97. I think he plays off of that. You look at what this Atlanta Braves lineup is. Doesn't have a lot of power in it. It's not a lot of talented offensive players. In fact, statistically speaking, they're one of the worst offenses in baseball. But what we do know is this, much like we saw last night, they're going to put balls in play. They're going to hit and run. They're going to sacrifice. They're going to do things to try to create some offense. I really do believe that's going to be the challenge. Jake's going to get the bad contact, and he's going to get the strikeouts. It's what can the Braves do with their contact.
I thought one of the big keys in the loss the other day was the first at bat of the game. I think it was Michael Bourne. Who 10 or 11 or 12 pitch at bat, and right away the pitch count started to get elevated. Jake was well into the 20s in the first inning, and you went, okay, he's not going to be around late in this game.
I wouldn't anticipate that from the Atlanta Braves. They may try it, but I don't think they're going to get it because, again, there's too many young hitters in this lineup, too many guys that have struggled this year. And a lot of times when guys go through struggles, and if you look at the numbers, I'm not talking Freddie Freeman or Markakis here, I'm really, or even AJ. I'm talking the other young hitters, the Jace Petersons of the world. You know, it kind of promotes aggressiveness. When you go up against aces, and I did this for about 5-6 years of my career before I really understood it, you don't want to be the victim of the highlight. You know that a Jake Arrieta ends up being a national highlight because he's pitching and he takes the ball that day, and you certainly don't want to be the strikeout victims. It just really promotes aggressiveness early in the count.
Give me something close and I'm hacking.
And you just tend to see it that way. And with the fact that I do believe he's going to lead with the fastball today, you're going to see that 96, 97. It's a warm day in Atlanta, kind of playing off of what I saw in the Arizona game. I think he attacks his Braves lineup the exact same way. So I'm thinking that the Braves are going to be aggressive. You're going to see them swinging early.
All right, time for Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business. Ender Inciarte has been on a tear over his last 4 games. Check out those numbers. 8 for 17 for a 471. 4 runs scored, 12 total bases, and a couple of doubles. Comcast Business built for business. He was a part of the trade that sent Shelby Miller to Arizona, where he has not been good. And Inciarte is also a guy they've discussed about trading if they could get the right package back.
Well, right, and I think NCRT wants to kind of up his game. You know, he's been hot certainly lately, and a big factor. You saw last night, RBI base hit, couple hits as well last night. He likes to put the ball in play. Typically, he works the count. Saw a little bit more of an aggressive approach later in the game as the game went on. So I wonder if that will factor into today, as I said with Jake going. But again, a catalyst for this team. I've heard Freddie Freeman say it. Now, this team has played a little bit better since letting Freddie Gonzalez go. What you need to know, does their approach change? Are they going to do things differently? You've got a new manager. You know, like I said, you've seen the hitting and running, but the key to this has been, for me, NCRT getting on the base consistently, and that's it. Freddie Freeman was just talking about it a couple days ago. He goes, why are you guys scoring more runs? Why are you actually winning at home? They were one of the worst home teams in all of baseball. His bottom line is this. He goes, I'm swinging the bat a little bit better, myself, I'm hanging out. Garcia's swinging the bat a little bit better as well. You saw that yesterday. He was 3 for 3, but NCRT is setting the table. We're getting somebody on at the top of the lineup consistently.
And ironically, prior to the re-signing of Dexter Fowler, which nobody saw that coming, NCRT was a name that had been linked to the Cubs along with Julio Teheran in a possible trade package.
Right. He's a young, complete player. He made a lot of sense for a lot of people. His name was quite popular over the winter, not just with the Cubs, but around baseball because of that. He's a good defender, runs the base as well. He's got good instincts in the game. Again, as I said, statistically, offensively, not quite there yet this year, but he seems like he's on his way right now. He's in the middle of a hot stretch.
All right, time for another break here on Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. When we return, we get Holly's keys to the game, our key performers, and we'll hand it off to Len and JD. We're back with more after this.
Once the Miller family went to Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, they never went anywhere else.
Didn't need to.
In fact, the Millers have purchased so many cars from Fields, their neighbors think they are the Fields.
Hi, Mrs. Fields.
They just make everyone feel like family.
Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. The bigger the family, the better.
See Fields first. Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Glenview at the Glen. Fields matters because you matter.
Introducing Comcast Business Wi-Fi Pro with next-level speed, coverage, marketing, and control features. Plus, Wi-Fi Pro offers what AT&T's Wi-Fi small site doesn't. Professional installation, advanced security, and millions of hotspots nationwide. Looks like taking your business to the next level starts with ditching AT&T. Give your business an edge with Comcast Business Wi-Fi Pro. Comcast Business, built for business.
Nippers, yeah. Can't live without my nippers, yeah. It's all about my nippers, yeah. Everybody wants some nippers, yeah. Why am I on a donkey? Nippers, yeah. It's a nibbler venture. Nippers, yeah. Crispy corn dog, please. Creamy mac and cheese. Nippers, yeah. These will not last long. Nippers, yeah. Just like this theme song.
Ride by Yamaha, the innovative dual-throttle handlebar control system that creates a fun, intuitive driving experience unlike anything else on the water. Ride is easy to use, delivering enhanced handling, smooth deceleration, and easy docking in tight spaces. There's only one way to ride, and it's only available on Yamaha Wave Runners. Yamaha, the #1 brand on the water. See your Yamaha Wave Runner dealer for great financing offers and additional incentives.
It's not too big and it's not too small.
Chevrolet's crossovers come in 3 sizes: Trax, Equinox, and Traverse.
Who wants to sit in it?
I do.
Shotgun.
Oh, wow.
This car matches me. I like this.
It's a perfect fit.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagine from the Chevrolet crossover family.
Qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 60 months on this 2016 Chevy Equinox. Plus, find your tag to get an extra $2,250 cash allowance on select Equinox in stock.
Welcome back to Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. Beautiful day, Turner Field. Cubs' final visit down there, unless the Braves are to get historically hot and they meet in the playoffs. Time for our Fields Auto Group keys to the game. Not going to happen.
That's not happening.
Yeah, absolutely right. So anyway,
all right, we ready for the keys? Let's do this. All right, Power Stroke, Cubs offense versus Whistler. We need to talk about this right off the top. I kind of gave you some nuggets. 4 homers against him last year. I mentioned that. You get to witness some of them. Here you go. See that ball up. I think the game plan is going to be very much the same. Whistler allowed 3 home runs in his last start. Put those 2 together. That's 7 total. Our Cubs offense, our Cubs hitters, I think we're going to see that long ball even in Atlanta today play. You know what? Maybe I'll go with this, with the idea, using Power Stroke, that we see the slug. Maybe some doubles, triples, home runs. As long as that's there, we're putting guys on base consistently with the extra base hit. We'll be driving them in. That's what I'm really hoping for in this one. Let me say this also. Whistler really did struggle with those secondary pitches. I know that's been kind of a topic of conversation around Chicago the last 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of people are like, the Cubs seem to be struggling with the curveball and the slider. I said, they're a pretty good fastball hitting team. It's how you sequence it out, really, when you think about it. And if Whistler is struggling with his breaking pitches and he becomes a one-pitch pitcher, Cubs are going to own that. They're going to be all over it today. Now, the low zone, that is for Jake Arrieta. As I said, most people think, oh, my gosh, he finally lost his last start. I mean, what in the world? The apocalypse is upon us. No, Jake was absolutely outstanding his last start. You see that right there? 97 was sinking action. What happened was the game of baseball happened in that Arizona Diamondbacks game. Don't expect to see that again. If he is there and brings this game, you're going to see a dominant performance again today. You'll see some bad contact. You're going to see the strikeouts to go along with it. But I think playing off of that is probably the approach that you're going to see, because comparing even the Diamondbacks to the Braves, the Diamondbacks are the better offense. So I really do expect him to attack these Braves hitters today, especially with that 2-seam fastball down in the zone, hopefully between 96 and 97 miles an hour. And also playing off and moving on to the third key, which is bad contact. I always seem to throw this one in when Jake's going. Yesterday's ball game for the Atlanta Braves, as I said, 2 sacrifice bunts, 2 sacrifice flies, a hit and run, a stolen base. I mean, you kind of get the feel here. There wasn't a lot of great contact outside of the 2 home runs that they hit, but they put the ball in play when need be. Well, that's always a challenge with Jake, because he promotes a lot of bad contact. Ball off the bat, the velocity is never typically good for hitters. What they get, it's jam shots, balls off the end of the bat, and a lot of bad contact, but it does put a little bit of pressure on the Cubs defense. They need to be on their game. Balls like this, plays like this, you want to be ready to make them. Pair that with what you saw yesterday from the Atlanta Braves, you think it's a very real possibility. You see some action, not just on the grass, but with runners on, hitting and running and doing different things. So that Cubs infield defense really needs to be on their game today.
All right, time for our key performers. You have a 14-8 lead for the season. Who do you want?
I'm going to go with Chris Bryant. He is the one guy that kind of connects to both.
You looked at my notes.
Your notes or my notes? You looked at my... Okay, can I reclaim my notes? I'll have my notes back. Chris Bryant is my pick today. Homered against him last year. I think he's going to get something done today. I really do, especially with everything I just told you about Whistler and some of the issues. Bryant has been swinging the bat pretty good of late, and I think there's a good matchup there for him.
All right, I am going to go with Chris Coughlin. I think he's going to be jacked up, ready to prove that he belongs back here with the Cubs. And the crew is going to take Jason Hayward. Hey, also a huge shout out to John Graff, one of our great producers here at CSN. He and his wife, Stacy, had their 3rd daughter this week.
Outstanding.
Jordan Taylor Graff would join sisters Cameron and Sloan. So congratulations to the Graff family. Best of luck.
We'll do a news hit for you.
That's it. News hit for John. Thanks for watching Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group. That'll be after the postgame. We'll see you.
Somebody told me no, son, and I decided then I'm gonna dig my style, gonna walk the same, gonna keep on going, no, I don't see no end, with the prize I'm showing, you better tell your friends, you're gonna dig my style, dig my style, dig my style.
Taking the hassle out of yard work just got even easier. During the Echo National Sales Event, get a pro-grade Echo trimmer or handheld blower for only $149.99 each, backed by a 5-year warranty. But hurry, these deals will be gone before you know it. So take back your yard with Echo.
Black, white, this fight is for everybody.
The winds are shifting.
We gonna change some things.
Free State of Jones, rated R, June 24th.
Know you can keep your financial big picture under control. Know you can see how much you have to spend and whether you should transfer funds. Know you can easily keep track of what you're putting away. And know you're budgeted for the great escape. Thanks to Virtual Wallet by PNC.
Thank goodness they've been to Lowe's. Lowe's plants are always grown for your area, so they're guaranteed to thrive in your garden for 1 whole year. So, instead of these plants shriveling and dying at the hands of these two, they'll get the distinct pleasure of observing this fine figure all year long. Drink it in, plants. I woke up like this.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Late afternoon here in Atlanta. It is the middle game of a weekend set. The Braves taking game one last night, 5-1. Welcome to Cubs baseball here on CSN. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The Cubs scored just 1 run last night, but they get Anthony Rizzo back in the lineup today, and Chris Coughlin will make his first start.
Yeah, could have used Rizzo's bat in the lineup last night. Bud Norris, hard-throwing right-hander, was really good. Really shut down the Cubs. They managed just 4 hits in that ball game off Norris. So good to have Riz back, and good to have Chris Coughlin back in a Cub uniform. He was not putting up good numbers with the Oakland Athletics, but I doubt that he's forgotten how to hit. So I think there's some good work ahead for Chris Coughlin. Joe Madden has him playing left field here this afternoon.
And Jake Arrieta is on the mound. His last 2 starts, he's been good, but they've been Cubs losses.
Yeah, and last time out was a real funky game. 5 innings against the Diamondbacks. He ended up losing that game despite 12 strikeouts, and his stuff was probably the best we've seen all year. So we expect a bounce-back game for Arrieta here today. You see the numbers for his last 2 starts. He pitched twice against the Braves last year and did not allow a run. Young Matt Whistler will work for the Braves. He really got knocked around last time out against the Dodgers, allowed 3 home runs, 8 runs in just 4 innings. But prior to that, he'd been on a very nice roll.
Cubs still have the best record in all of baseball. 41 up, only 18 down, and their ace on the mound today. Cubs and Braves from Atlanta next.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
I'm Jesse Diaz, founder of Dark Matter Coffee, Chicago. We started with $2,000 and a dream.
Hey babe, it's me, heading to the mothership.
The secret to success is to fail and learn continually. I think if you want something in life, just go for it and don't stop.
Greatness is within reach. Right now, you could get a great deal on the new Civic, KBB.com's overall best buy for 2016. From Honda.
Now available for kids on DirecTV Cinema. The residents of Zootopia are just like us. They have the same problems.
Predators and prey live in harmony and sing Kumbaya.
Hey, watch where you're going, Fox. Fireball.
From the creators of Frozen and Big Hero 6.
We need to acknowledge the elephant in the room, Francine. Happy birthday.
Disney's Zootopia, rated PG.
Find movies kids love on DirecTV Cinema.
They treat you like you're their best friend or your family. It's almost like they can't do enough for you.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields of the Fields Auto Group. We simply treat people the way we want to be treated.
I get a personal treatment here, and I recommend it.
It includes our free loaners, free car washes, and cafes. It's all part of the Fields Matters program.
I'm looking for the best price, and Fields gives you that. That's why we've bought so many cars from them.
Fields Matters because you matter.
FieldsAuto.com.
Hi, I'm David Kaplan back in their downtown Chicago studios on a gorgeous Saturday. Anthony Rizzo was a late scratch for last night's game with back stiffness that flared up. Joe Madden did not think it was anything serious, called him day to day. Rizzo feeling much better this morning, took some swings, said good to go. In the lineup today, batting fourth. Here's Joe Madden before the game on Anthony.
He went down and took some swings and felt really good, so he's playing.
Okay, good.
That's it.
And you said it was just a day-to-day.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday just kind of locked up on him. I think it was also one of those things where, you know, when it happens, you're afraid to test it kind of a thing. And I think once he tested it, he found that I'm okay. And that's what led to him, I'm ready to go.
Just not having Rizzo change the whole dynamic.
Well, just read the lineup. You know, it's like, it's when you read a novel. I mean, if it's missing a paragraph or even a chapter, when you put his name in the lineup looks different. Everybody else hits from a different position or power point because he's there. The other team looks at it differently. So it's very important to have him in the lineup.
First-year player draft currently taking place, and without a pick in the first two rounds for signing Jason Hayward and John Lackey, Cubs placed a premium on pitching, selecting 17 pitchers in their first 20 picks. Their highest pick, right-hander Tom Hatch, a third-round selection from Oklahoma State. In the sixth round, they selected Chad Hocken, right-hander from Cal State Fullerton, and also the grandson of Harmon Killebrew. The 22nd round, Cubs took pitcher Dante Biasi from Joe Madden's hometown of Hazleton, Pennsylvania.
I don't know him. I don't know the family, but I definitely am going to find out, I'm sure, very, very quickly. Lefty, right? You said lefty, correct, right? So that's a big day back home. I don't know him, but I'm sure the Standard Speaker is like full of probably a front page kind of a story.
And by the way, Tom Hatch, the first pick, former Cardinal fan who now said, I'm all Cubs. So there you go. That's going to do it from our downtown Chicago studios. We'll see you after the game. Holly and I will have the post-game show. See you then.
We are here at Benny's Beverage Depot, and Joe, let's talk about some of the humorous things in baseball. Not that it's humorous to have arguments between managers and umpires, but I remember there was a game last year where you said you were arguing with an umpire, and he said something like, I may be bad, but at least I'm honest. You almost busted out laughing.
I did. I mean, I have to leave at that point. He says, I might be bad, but I'm not doing it on purpose, something to that effect. I thought that was great.
This Camry's got everything I'm looking for. Available features like pre-collision system, V6 engine, Qi wireless smartphone charging. Look at that front grille.
Don't forget Toyota Care.
Right, Toyota Care.
Want to take a test drive?
Yeah.
Lease a new 2016 Camry with zero do-it signing and zero first month's payment. Or get 0% APR for 72 months on Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
Steak used to cost an arm and a leg. But now you can get new tender braised steak and melted cheese wrapped in a warm flatbread for just $1.49. Taco Bell steak flatbread sandwich. Eat it for them.
Welcome to Wrigley Field. Marietta's cruising along. Swing and a miss. And it is gone. We're tied. Rizzo gets on the top. He makes a catch. Got it. Called strike three. Jake Arrieta, a 20-game winner. Deep left, way back. It is gone. A 3-run homer. Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. The leadoff man is presented presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. Dexter Fowler gets a hit in his first at bat. Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicagoland Food Depository. Bill Murray and his brother Joel and Andy. The Murrays are well represented here in Atlanta. There's Joel on the right and Andy there in the back. Cheering on the Cubs today. Joel will be one of the co-MCs for Hot Stove Cool Music next Friday at Metro. Let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Fowler, Hayward, and Bryant at the top as per usual. Good to see Anthony Rizzo back in there, and he'll try to extend his hitting streak. Zobrist at second. Chris Coughlin, second tour with the Cubs. Montero catching, Russell at short, and the pitcher Arrieta batting ninth.
Braves defensively, big outfield to cover here at Turner Field. Smith, Inciarte, and Markakis cover left, center, and right respectively. Adonis Garcia made a spectacular play last night. He's at third. Darnell Peterson up the middle. Freddie Freeman, the first baseman. A.J. Pierzynski, 39 years old, behind the plate on this hot day. And the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitchers. A 23-year-old right-hander. His name is Matt Whistler. He's made 11 starts, 1 relief appearance. He does not have a winning record, but this team doesn't win a lot. He has a 3.98 ERA. As we mentioned in our open, struggled last time out against the Dodgers, but a 2.51 ERA, covering 6 May starts prior to that one.
With their alternate jerseys, I like this look. A cream colored top. And we're underway.
I'll second that. I like the cream.
Yeah, it is hot.
Whistler came over here in a trade with the Padres at the beginning of last year, split the year between AAA and Atlanta. He was 8-8 with the Braves last year in a 4.71 ERA.
Ron Culpa back at the plate. Chris Conroy at first. Jerry Meals, the crew chief, at second. Sean Barber is at third. 94 degrees.
Whistler will go 90 to 95 with the heater, sit comfortably around 93. That appeared to be a changeup. There's a slider, curve, and a change. Likes the slider probably better than the other secondary pitches.
Down the left field line and out of play. Looks like we have a bigger crowd today than last night. And we had 30,547 for the opener.
A lot of Cub fans in the house. A fan with a fan.
Whistler whistles one, and that ball is popped up and caught by the third baseman Garcia out in shallow left.
Dexter came into this ball game hitting .299, his average dipping below 300 for the first time all year. He got jammed pretty good by that one. He does not stand alone in that regard. A lot of the Cub hitters slumping here. They're hitting as a team. .234 here in the month of June.
Nice hand for former Brave Jason Hayward. Tough night at the plate last night. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Made a nice sliding catch out in right. Here's the 0-1. It's off the inside corner. His brother Jacob got drafted in the 18th round by the San Francisco Giants out of the University of Miami. He's a junior, right-handed hitting outfielder. That ball set to deep right, and it will go for Hayward. 1-0. 2 batters in.
And he gave that one the full treatment. There was no doubt about it. He jumped all over that pitch. 4th of the year, 2nd on the road trip for Hayward. A little acknowledgement to the family. Boom. Center cut and gone. That's your Ford home run replay. Whistler, a fly ball pitcher. That's the 10th home run he's allowed this year.
Strike called on Chris Bryant. Cubs have their first lead of the weekend. Oh, 2. Well, that had to feel really good for Jason Hayward. Tough start at the plate. Homer's in a very comfortable setting here in Atlanta, as Bryant sends it sky high out into short center, and it will be in Ciarte. 2 hands on it and 2 down, and we welcome those viewers watching us on MLB Network today. Here comes Rizzo.
This is Whistler's second career start against the Cubs. They cuffed him around pretty good last year. He allowed 3 home runs, didn't make it out of the 3rd inning.
Rizzo did not play last night. First time he has not gotten into a game all season. Back tightness, the reason he was scratched. 3rd missed start on a hop. It's played by Peterson. Also want to welcome our viewers watching on Mediacom in the Cedar Rapids in the Quad Cities. Cubs 1, Braves coming up.
Dear Chicago, let's take a trip out of Midway to your favorite international destinations. With love, Southwest.
This year, my family didn't want to fight the crowds, so we went to Blue Harbor Resort. There was a huge indoor water park, plus there's the beach. Dad took us sailing on this cool boat, and we even had a bonfire. This is the best vacation ever.
Jack Links presents Hangry Hacks.
Stupid! You quiet down! We will turn this car around!
And head to the nearest reasonably priced hotel with a pool.
And a bar.
And a bar.
Feed your wild side.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help. Get an 11% rebate on everything in the store, including thousands of sale items. Get an 11% rebate on our entire selection of energy-efficient Richmond water heaters. Choose from electric or gas models. Never run out of hot water again. Plus, get an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices, now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Braves put up 5 last night, but they're the lowest run-scoring team in baseball, averaging 3.13 runs per game. Here's their Southwest starting lineup in Ciarte, Darno, Freeman at the top, Markakis, Garcia, who had a big night last night, and A.J. Przinsky. Hello, A.J. Peterson, Whistler, and Smith rounded up.
Cubs are deployed thusly. Hey, there's Chris Coughlin in left field, Dexter Fowler in center, Jason Hayward in right. You'll notice the difference in philosophy. The Cubs play much deeper in the outfield than do the Braves. Infield, it's Bryant, Russell, Zobrist, and Rizzo. Miguel Montero behind the plate, and Alexis pursuing perfection. Starting pitcher for the Cubs this afternoon is Jake Arrieta. And you see the numbers on Arrieta. They are glittering, 9-1 with a .180 ERA. And the league's also hitting 180 against him. He's allowed just 3 home runs.
.95, but a little bit outside, maybe up to Ender Inciarte.
He was busting it up there at 95, 97 last time out against the Diamondbacks.
A bounce to Rizzo. He'll underhand to Arrieta and
didn't get it.
Safe.
And will reach a little bit for that toss, a little bit out of rhythm, and failed to touch the base. It's going to be an error charge to Jake, and oh, he dropped the ball. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice that. I thought he missed the bag.
So the Cubs have committed 2 errors in the series. They'd gone 8 in a row without one before last night.
Braves were pretty aggressive on the bases last night. I expect them to be so again here today. Montero's had a hard time throwing out base runners. Arrieta is not particularly quick to home. And they just don't have a lot of firepower in their lineup. So probably makes sense to try to get a little something done with the running game.
Darno for 5 last night. He did reach on an error and stole a base. 29-year-old infielder. Former Pirate and Philly. Eric Ibar is on the DL. He's got a right foot bruise. So the Braves went back-to-back last night for the first time this season. Garcia and Flowers homered in consecutive at-bats in the second inning of Jason Hamill. That gave them 25 on the year. That is by far the lowest total among all major league teams. Tied for 28th, right above the Braves, are the Miami Marlins and Kansas City Royals. They have 50. Now, if this holds up, we're not even halfway through the season. That might be the biggest drop, right, between 29th and 30th. It's gotta be.
Yeah, I would think. The looking back, the 1979 Astros hit 49 home runs. It's one of the lowest totals in recent years for a full season.
Kevin Seitzer is their hitting coach. Yeah, the Mets hit 74, so they finished 25 behind the next worst on that list. There's a 2-1 from Jake, and it's outside.
The 86 Cardinals, another team that didn't hit many home runs. Well, the Royals last year weren't a slugging team, but yeah, this is a particularly anemic bunch. You take Freddie Freeman out of the mix, and this particular lineup today, without Freeman, has hit 6 home runs.
Hitters count here for Darno, and the pitch, swing and a miss.
Yeah, the run he gets on that two-seam fastball, pretty impressive. He gets a lot of swings and misses with that sinker diving down and in. And obviously that can be a good ground ball pitch for him too. High strikeout rate, high ground ball rate for Arrieta.
This is Russell, and they'll get only one. It's the lead man. So 1 out, and it'll bring up Freeman. And if I ever need a lifeline on anemic offenses, I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
Because the 86 Cardinals hit 58 home runs. 52 behind the Expos, who had 110.
That's the Whitey ball era Cardinals on the turf. Slap and run.
262 bases that year. 1 strike on Freeman.
Freeman not hitting for average this year. That's likely to turn around. He's a line drive hitter.
Runner goes, and Freeman sculls it foul.
So as we mentioned, Arrieta in his start against the Diamondbacks last time out lasted just 5 innings. He struck out 12 punch outs in 5 innings. That doesn't happen that often in the long history of this game. Just a lot of pitching. Michael Bourne started the game with a 10-pitch at bat. I don't know if it was by design, but the Diamondbacks were patient. They fought off a lot of tough pitches. This group, that's not in their DNA. This group does not see that many pitches. They were really aggressive last night.
Knocked down by Montero on a pitch that bounced in front of home plate. That loss for Jake. On Sunday was his first since July 25th of last year when they were no hit by Cole Hamels. So it snapped a winning streak personally at 20 for Arrieta, tied for the third longest such streak in Major League history. He's 25-2 now since June 21st of last year. Freeman golfs into left on the move. It's Coughlin to make the grab. And Darno will head back to first.
Not an easy play for a left fielder with a left-handed hitter hitting that ball towards the corner. Slice spin. Got a nice break on it. Travel a good ways. Nice play. Albert Almora Jr. made a spectacular play out there last night. Now Coughlin with a fine running catch.
There's Almora, available off the bench today after getting his first Major League start. Nick Markakis at the dish. Start before last, Arrieta got a no decision. The Cubs lost the game, so that snapped that long stretch of 23 consecutive Cub wins in his starts, and he tied for the longest streak in baseball since 1913. Runner moving again, but Markakis is going to bounce out to Zobrist. And we've completed one. It's the Cubs 1 and the Braves 0.
Monday night, two of baseball's best go head-to-head in D.C. as Chris Bryant and the Cubs face Bryce Harper and the Nationals. Don't miss this must-see MLB matchup. Cubs, Nationals, starting Monday at 6 on CSN.
Are you a huge Chicago sports fan? Then join CSN's very own Kelly Kroll and Luke Stuckmeyer for a taping of Beer Money, Thursday at 5 p.m. at O'Callahan's Pub in Chicago. Test your sports trivia knowledge and you could win cash. Beer Money, presented by Coors Light.
We started with the class-leading RX. We gave it paddle shifters to help you command the road. A sport mode to help you control the road. And a sport-tuned suspension to help you connect with the road. The Lexus RX F-Sport. This is the RX Elevated. Lease the 2016 RX 350 for $419 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
Now, you can get 2 Arby's Ultimate BLTs for $6. So, with 10 total strips of thick-cut bacon, that works out to about a 100% chance of you coming to Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats.
If you teach someone to fish, you might never see them again. This summer, join the movement and take someone fishing. And there's no better place to get someone started than the Bass Pro Shop's Gone Fishing event. Go online to learn more.
Call you back. Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up!
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there.
What a day.
With car insurance for when things go wrong.
What a day!
But also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
A reminder, Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Great to have you with us on a scorcher here in Atlanta, Georgia. And Zobrist 1 for 3 last night. Cubs lead 1-0 on the Hayward homer and strike called. Well, let's get to know Matt Whistler a little bit. He is from Bryan, Ohio. That's up in the northwest corner of the state. Near the Michigan and Indiana borders, about 3 hours east of Chicago. Small town, population under 10,000. And not far from Defiance, Ohio, the hometown of Chad Billingsley and John Meese. Pulled to first. as Freeman will step on the bag.
Cubs are the hottest ticket in town. Your best option for future games is Monday through Thursday. Very limited availability on weekends throughout the summer. Don't wait. Plan now. Visit Cubs.com.
Here's Chris Coughlin. He lined out as a pinch hitter. His second Cubs debut.
Whistler
Outside.
throws both the 2 and 4-seam fastball. He likes to work up in the zone with the 4-seamer. Some swings and misses, some weak contact up there. 2-seam has good arm side run. Working off that outside edge, and boy, you got a nice call there from Ron Kulpa. I was umpiring home plate today. I'd probably have a pretty big zone too. Of course, I don't have integrity.
1-2.
It's a little problematic for the hitters right there. 94 knee high, just tickling that outside corner. What's a man to do?
Don't do that.
A little emergency hack. But Norris last night started for the Braves very effective with a good 4-seam fastball up in the zone, and bearing that slider down and in on the left-handed hitters. Got a lot of swings and misses. They're capable of playing that same game.
After the high one and able to stay alive. That is such a tough pitch to lay off, especially with 2 strikes, and one you can do very little with. We've talked with Joe in the past about high and low, and you hear the cliche, keep the ball down. But more guys are able to handle the ball down than way up. He loves above the strike zone, and that's where you lived a lot of your career. So it's kind of counterintuitive to say, right? But it's,
yeah,
it's true.
A sinker baller obviously wants to keep the ball down, but a guy that throws riding 4-seam fastballs, normally the game plan is to try to get ahead, and whereas sinker ballers may expand east and west, guys with 4-seamers like to expand up. So get ahead, down in the zone, and then start to climb the ladder and see if you can get the hitter to go up and try to handle that high ball.
There's the catcher Montero hitting 7th today. Whistler just notched his first strikeout. And that'll get out of play. So you're probably wondering who else is from Bryan, Ohio.
Who is?
Bob Hartman. You know that name?
Bob Hartman.
Yeah. He founded the pioneering Christian rock group Petra, which I know is a big part of your iPod.
I'm familiar with their work.
Dum Dum Suckers manufacturer, the Spangler Candy Company, and the Ohio Art Company, which makes Etch-a-Sketch, are headquartered in Bryan.
Love the Etch-a-Sketch.
Dum Dums, come on. Everybody's had a Dum Dum sucker.
Got way too many of those trick-or-treating. Come on. How about a candy bar? I was a big bowl of those at the dentist's office, the Dum Dums.
It's kind of a paradox, isn't it? Although, I guess if they want you to come back.
It's a way to get repeat business.
Yeah. One and 2 on Miguel. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Freeman. And that will end the inning. We've been accused of being called dum-dums. So that works for us too.
Summer's here, but we're the ones bringing the heat. Consider this your invitation to the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. Get $4,000 combined cash allowance plus $500 bonus cash or 0% APR for 60 months on the 2016 Grand Caravan.
In 3 weeks, you will finally be able to see the new gold standard for Broadway. The best musical of this century. The funniest musical of all time. It's genius. It's brilliant. It's phenomenal. And in 3 weeks, it will finally be here. The Book of Mormon comes to Chicago. Performances begin June 29th. Visit BroadwayInChicago.com.
Not the vast frozen plains or a wall of mountains. Nothing would get between him and what he was after. Some called him obsessed. We call him Mr. Coors. And the pure Rocky Mountain water he hunted down is still used to brew the beer that bears his name. Coors, the banquet beer.
Cubs won. Braves nothing. Bottom of the second. Cub fans, we have 5 players leading the All-Star game voting. Let's keep it going. Vote early, vote often, vote now. Do it at Cubs.com/vote. You can vote up to 5 times a day and up to 35 times totally. In totem.
Cubs have the lead. Braves had a base runner, but no hits in the first as Arrieta committed an error. There's Adonis Garcia. 3 for 3 with a home run and a walk in the opener last night. 100th major league game. Jason Bateman is here. You know, I know Joel is shooting a movie, Joel Murray. I wonder if Mr. Bateman is also in that film.
I'll have to get on the Google machine and check it out.
I'd have to. Here's a pitch. Blown away.
Garcia from Cuba. Defected in 2011. Started his professional career here in the States with the Yankees. Ultimately was released, picked up by the Braves last year. Well, he's not a kid. He's 31 years of age. He's got the hit tool. He has struggled defensively. Although, as I mentioned earlier, made a spectacular play in the ball game last night.
Two. It's grounded to Zobrist. Ben Zobrist, without having to do anything other than just being himself, could make an instructional video. He just followed him around for one day. Watch how he fields this ground ball. And that is his textbook.
Yep. Takes his time over the top.
That high pitch, and hello, AJ. Przinsky missed it. If you're unfamiliar with the bit, that was kind of the deal with the White Sox. We always kind of treated him like Newman from Seinfeld. Hello, Newman. Playing the villain in that crosstown series.
Got a couple of former White Sox doing the catching here. And, Tyler Flowers, who caught last night.
19th major league season for AJ. 2-time All-Star. You see good career numbers against the Cubs, but he hits this one on the ground right to Addison Russell.
Yeah, good sign here for Arrieta early, getting all these ground balls. Not working the deep counts. He's not getting strikeouts, but that's okay, especially on a hot day like today. Trying to save some bullets.
Jace Peterson brought brought back from the minor leagues yesterday. 2
Not
for
Peterman.
3.
Peterson.
Right.
If you want to get that old Seinfeld thing going.
Yeah, you're right. You're always in on a Seinfeld reference. On the move is Chris Coughlin, and he makes the catch. Master of his own domain out there in left.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. I'm attorney Howard Ankin with legendary sportscaster Steve Stone.
And I know the right team knows how to win, like Howard Ankin Law Office.
If you or someone you know needs help with an injury case, I'm here to help. Please give me a call.
Put Howard's number in your phone right now, 312-6-million.
T-Mobile hit it out of the park. We doubled our LTE coverage to cover over 305 million Americans. And our new extended range LTE goes 2 times farther and works 4 times better in buildings than before. Switch to T-Mobile for major league coverage today.
There's a sound a ball makes when it catches nothing but net. Everyone loves that sound, that precision. At GMC, we get that. Nothing separates the men from the boys like nothing but net. This is the precision of professional grade. Now get 15% below MSRP on select GMC Acadia vehicles in stock. That's over $7,800 below MSRP on this GMC Acadia Denali.
Summer's here, but we're the ones bringing the heat. Consider this your invitation to the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. Get $4,000 combined cash allowance plus $500 bonus cash or 0% APR for 60 months on the 2016 Grand Caravan.
Cubs will bat in the 3rd inning, leading 1-0.
That Southern girl bleeds Cubby blue. Get that girl a snow cone or something. She needs something cold.
Addison Russell to start it. And he fouls back out of play.
Addie in a prolonged funk now has seen his batting average drop to 228.
One and one. Braves now tied with the Twins for the worst record in baseball after their win last night. They improved to 18-42, same record as Minnesota. So last night we were talking about the Braves' worst 59-game start since 1911, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a base hit. So Russell is aboard to start the inning. Well, it's now their worst 60-game start since 1935. So they're getting a little bit more contemporary with every win. The Cubs would like to keep them right where they are at 18 for the rest of the weekend. Here's Arrieta. Cubs off to their best start since 1918.
Now Joe likes to let his pitcher swing. Because of the heat, he may have Arrieta bunting here. Or not.
You pitched in a lot of weather like this on turf. St. Louis and Cincinnati. Did you like pitching on days like this? The 3 t-shirt kind of day?
You know, you always felt like you accomplished something when you got through it. It was a satisfying feeling just to be beat down by the elements. You know, if you pitched reasonably well. Look, you know, give me 85, 95, 90, you know, low 90s. That's a little dicey. Big fur-bearing northerner, you know. A little bit of a challenge for me.
Fur bearing?
Yeah, big hairy guy. Just really enjoy the sweltering heat.
One and two.
So Ron Culpa is going to maintain a fairly wide zone here today.
There's the bunt with 2 strikes. Diving attempt by Whistler, and Arrieta is safe. How about that play?
Yeah, you know, I like the bunt because I like the idea of dancing the base runner and getting Arrieta off the bases on this hot day. But, you know, it's a base hit, and he's on a chance to do some damage here. He's a supremely conditioned athlete, so he's probably less bothered by the extreme heat than many.
So 2 on, nobody out, and here's Fowler. 1 for 5 to start the series. Ball 1. Bounced away from Przynski, a wild pitch. Both runners move up.
Overcooks that slider. It's a tough one to block. Bounces that far out in front of the plate.
Infield in a bit. Not all the way. 2-0 the count. Fowler went to Milton High School. Milton is just north of Atlanta. And he fouls away.
Recruited to play basketball at Harvard and baseball at the University of Miami.
Round pick of the Rockies in 04. And he hits a ground ball to first, and Russell's going to hold at third. So 1 out.
Yeah, sharply hit. Nowhere for Russell to go on that play.
It'll bring up Hayward, who hit a no-doubter in the first inning. His 4th homer of the year.
It's a big yard. It's 390 to the power alley in right center, 380 in left center. Ball does carry well here. This, in terms of altitude, this is the 3rd highest ballpark in the game in all the land, behind Colorado and Arizona.
Well, you're coming up with all kinds of great facts after the off day. I think that's the key. An extra day to round up some great bits of information. The Deion Sanders note last night.
Deion Sanders, yeah, tomahawk chop. Deion, former Brave. That's why they do the chop here, because of Deion Sanders, who was a pretty good football player down at Florida State. Two strikes, infield all the way in.
Russell at third, Arrieta at second. Back-to-back singles to start the inning. And a big strikeout for Whistler. He's not out of it yet, but 2 down.
He's able to wiggle out of this jam. That'd be a huge win for him. A little backdoor slider to get Hayward.
Bryant looking for his first hit of the series, 0 for 5. Infield back. 3 infielders between second and third as they shift. Slightly the other way in the outfield. And the slider is low and outside.
Well, he's got a base open. Not that he would prefer Rizzo over Bryant, but he does have the luxury of pitching carefully and not giving in a hitter's count.
This is going to get Whistler out of the inning. Inciarte. And that's it. Missed opportunity to tack on. It's 1-0 Cubs in the third.
Listen up. This is the time, this is the place. And this is Ford F-150, the truck that goes toe-to-toe with your life. Made of high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy, it pulled the highest safety rating the government can give. And with Pro Trailer backup assist, it's like having your head on a swivel, pal. So load up your crew. This is the time.
Now for a limited time, get an F-150 with 0% financing for 60 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Oh, looks like we missed most of the show.
Yeah, and there's no way to restart it.
With DirecTV, there is.
You see, we got the power to turn back time, so let's restart the show that started at 9. And while we're at it, let's give you back your due and give her back the guy she liked before you. Hey, that's the power to turn back time.
Get the ultimate all-included bundle. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
They say an old-fashioned is served in a 10-ounce glass with a maraschino cherry and an orange slice. Actually, it's served in a room with a brick fireplace and a deer head mounted on the wall by a waitress named Diane. This is a Wisconsin supper club. When you're having fun, we're having fun.
Can you think of anything better than being paid to come to the ballpark every day in a city you truly love and call a game that you've lived with your whole life?
Inside Look, Steve Stone, presented by Cadillac, premiering Thursday at 7 on CSN.
Time now for our Xfinity high-speed action. We had a strange play last night. And after the fact, Joe Madden and Jerry Meals had several conversations. So it ended up being a sac fly here that led to the Braves' third run. Albert Almora throws back to Ben Zobrist to second base. He steps on the bag. You see, Malik Smith had actually gone past second. He did not retouch. The Cubs would later appeal, and he was called out. But because the appeal happened after the runner had crossed home plate, the run counted. But Joe wanted to get kind of a rules clarification. Our understanding of it is that you have to, as a fielder, on that particular play, alert the umpire that you are appealing that the guy didn't retouch the base. And so they said that Zobrist touching second was inadvertent because he didn't say he was appealing.
He needed to look at the second base umpire and go, we're appealing, because the time had not been called. The ball was never out of play. So you can't appeal there without going back to the mound, stepping off the rubber as they ultimately did. But Ben would have had to tell the second base umpire, I want to appeal. He didn't retouch.
Joe said, I'd never seen that happen, and that's all due to Albert Almora throwing to the right base. And he was thinking, well, wait a minute. How can we get it where that run didn't count? That's low on the pitcher Whistler. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Charged by Russell for the out.
On Sunday, June 19th, the Cubs play the Pittsburgh Pirates. Up to the first 5,000 kids in attendance, 13 and younger, will receive a special kids hooded towel presented by Advocate Children's Hospital. For more details, including updated game time information, Visit Cubs.com. Pirates had Garrett Cole come out of the ball game yesterday after 2 innings with the little triceps issue. Francisco Cervelli's got a broken hamate bone. He had surgery.
Good bunt by Smith, and he's going to be safe. So a bunt single for Malik Smith.
Smith, a very good athlete. Raw, he kind of came to baseball late, but he's figuring it out. He's been swinging the bat well of late, and drops on a dandy of a bunt here.
That's their first hit.
The art or the craft of base stealing at this level has eluded him. He has stolen 8 bases, but he's been caught 7 times.
Pitcher batting 8th, so Smith kind of like that second leadoff hitter in the 9 spot. He faked towards second and went back, and Inciarte takes ball 1.
Inciarte, a good guy to play a little hit and run with. He has real good contact skills, doesn't swing and miss that much. He's capable of bunting as well, and Chris Bryant is well in at third base.
This time he goes, and the ball is lifted down the left field line. Coughlin into foul territory, and Smith heads back to first. And did he retouch? Did he get to second?
He didn't get to the bag. I watched him. He slammed on the brakes before he got to the base. Lesson learned for young Malik Smith.
Almost had a carbon copy.
Yeah, watching him. Kind of doing the curly thing there, making sure he doesn't go all the way to the base. Curly was a character from the Three Stooges, popular television show back in the day. For those of you who are not of a certain age.
Big lead by Smith. He looks runnerish. Ball 1.
Cubs making more of an effort to try to tighten things up in the running game. Saw with Jason Hamill last night, going over to first base frequently, and not just token moves. I mean, he was really going over it quickly and putting a lot on it, as Arrieta does here. And 23 steals, 2 caught with Montero behind the plate, so I think they're trying to give him a fighting chance. Big right-handers who are not particularly quick to home plate, usually easy to run on.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. And again, Montero really didn't have much of a chance. Good backup by Russell, as another middle infielder is supposed to do. So that keeps Smith at second. Meantime, 1-1 on d'Arnaud. Some finals from earlier today. Blue Jays beat the Orioles 11-6. Edwin Encarnacion hit a couple homers. Royals over the White Sox 4-1. The Nationals shut out the Phillies 8-0. Behind Tanner Roark. Called strike 1 and 2.
Mentioned the Pirates issue with Cole and then Cervelli. They've acquired Eric Kratz in a trade. Cervelli having surgery for that hamate bone today, out likely 4 to 6 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, that's a big one. He's been a big part of their nucleus here these last couple of years. Replacing Russell Martin, who left via free agency. Cubs' next opponent, the Nationals in Washington, D.C. And they head home to play the Pirates next weekend. Fly ball out into right center. It is Dexter Fowler to end the inning. We go to the fourth from Atlanta. Cubs 1, Braves nothing.
Dear Chicago, let's take a trip out of Midway to your favorite international destinations. With love, Southwest.
Know you can keep your financial big picture under control. Know you can see how much you have to spend and whether you should transfer funds. Know you can easily keep track of what you're putting away. And know you're budgeted for the great escape. Thanks to Virtual Wallet by PNC.
Welcome back to the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport Network, everybody. We've got 20 minutes till sundown. Will they make it? This might be a good time for all-wheel control. There's the decision. Off-road we go. With a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a 2.4-liter engine, they're powering into that final stretch. What a finish with time to spare. This broadcast was brought to you by the new 2016 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Make your drive a sport.
Come in now and get $500 cash back and 0% APR.
Tomorrow night, get ready for a brand new episode of Beer Money. It's Chicago's favorite sports trivia show, where fans test their knowledge for a chance to win cash. Beer Money, presented by Coors Light, tomorrow at 7 on CSN Chicago.
He's an AL Cy Young Award winner and beloved Chicago baseball broadcaster. Thursday night, CSN's David Kaplan goes one-on-one with former Cubs pitcher and longtime TV analyst Steve Stone. He'll share great stories about working with the legendary Harry Carey, his path from the majors to the microphone, and much more. Inside Look, Steve Stone, presented by Cadillac, premieres Thursday night at 7 on CSN Chicago. Anthony Rizzo launches, and it's gonna go 2-0. Welcome back to the lineup, young man.
The first pitch ambush by Big Riz for his 14th. Tie Chris Bryant for the club lead. Not unlike the pitch that Hayward hit out.
Happy zone. Ford home run replay.
Whistler allowed 3 home runs in his last start to the Dodgers. That's number 2 here today. Numbers 10 and 11 on the season. Could normally think, well, solo home runs, that's probably not going to beat you, but against Jake Arrieta and with his with the lack of offense for the Braves, it could very well beat him.
So what did we say? The Braves have 25 homers?
Yeah.
Bryant and Rizzo combined for 28.
And that's the thing, especially for a young guy like Whistler. I'm sure he's been told, look, just pitch. Don't worry about the score. Don't worry, don't worry about the fact that we don't score a lot of runs. Control what you can control.
Zobrist is aboard.
Ben had one of the Cubs' 4 hits in the ball game last night. Things starting to turn around for him. Good approach there with that fastball down, outer third. Poking it the other way.
Got to ask Chris Coughlin if he got a tracksuit, or did he get here a day late? The formal portion of the tracksuit trip was Philly, right?
I'm not sure.
Broken bat fly ball, and it's going to drop. So Coughlin has his first hit in 3 at-bats since returning to the Cubs. 2 on, nobody out for Montero.
Probably felt like he was owed that one. He had a bullet last night as a pinch hitter, but on a line right to the second baseman. This time it's a little blooper off the end of the bat. Looked like Inciardi had designs on trying to make a play on that ball, but thought maybe Markakis was going to come in and try to make a play.
Pitch to Montero is fouled straight back to the net. Cubs have found it tough in this series to manufacture runs, but they like the home runs. And they've hit 2 of them. Hayward and Rizzo today. I think it would apply to Jason Hamill last night. You know, I'm sure Roger McDowell, Matt Whistler, they could say, yeah, he's pitched well. You know, he worked out of the jam in the 3rd inning. Just you know, 2 bad pitches or whatever. Hamill kind of talked about that last night. But because it's only 1 or 2 pitches, sometimes, you know, the score will overshadow the way you felt as a pitcher. You say, you know, I got a lot of weak contact. I felt like I set up guys pretty well, but yeah, it was the 4 home runs I gave up for whatever reason. You know.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the back-to-back home runs. I thought one of the pitches wasn't that bad. It was, you know, breaking ball out on the outside corner. The other one was more of a hanger.
Montero lifts in the air out into right center. Pretty well hit. Way back toward the wall. It's gone. That's a 3-run homer. It just kept on carrying.
Well, that's a pretty good poker hand the Cubs have got going this inning. 2 pair home runs and singles. A 4 spot in the 4th, nobody out. And that had to feel awfully good for Montero. He's been scuffling. That's home run number 3 for him, and number 3 on the day for the Cubs. Backdoor breaking ball. Good looking swing, high finish. There's your Ford home run replay.
CRT just ran out of room. The 1-1. Russell pops it up. Shallow left.
Cubs destinations travel packages include tickets, hotel accommodations, ballpark tours, Cubs swag, and a private meet and greet with a current player. This season's destinations include stops in Pittsburgh and Chicago. For more information, visit Cubs.com/travel. Look at that happy group there. They're having a blast.
Jake Arrieta with a 5-0 lead to work with. Swinging for the fences, and he missed it. Peterson makes the catch. I guess to go back to my point, you know, it tells you the margin for error is so small at this level. You can make some really good pitches, but if you throw 80 or 90 and 3 of them aren't quite where you want them, you can give up a bunch of runs.
Yeah, and you know, there's a certain amount of luck involved too. That was clearly the case in Arrieta's last start. He allowed 10 balls in play, and 9 of them went for base hits. There wasn't a lot of hard contact against him in that ball game either.
Another ball hit out into the deep reaches of the outfield as Smith runs it down on the warning track to retire Fowler. But the Cubs connecting twice in the inning. Rizzo to start it, and 3 batters later, Montero knocking in 3.
So all the latest safety features, they're available in every Hyundai SUV, right?
Yes, indeed. The Tucson, Santa Fe Sport, 3-row Santa Fe, all backed by America's Best warranty.
Great. Because our family is about to get a lot bigger.
Oh, congratulations.
On what?
I'm telling him tonight.
Lease the Tucson for $159 a month or the Santa Fe Sport for $199 a month.
What's up?
Hello?
Taking the hassle out of yard work just got even easier. During the Echo National Sales Event, get a pro-grade Echo trimmer or handheld blower for only $149.99 each, backed by a 5-year warranty. But hurry, these deals will be gone before you know it. So take back your yard with Echo.
What if one day everything just stopped going wrong?
Have a good day,
No more accidents. No more disasters. Where would State Farm be? Here to help with college. Here for that first car. And here for new beginnings. Because in a world where nothing went wrong, your State Farm agent will still be right here. Helping make life go completely right.
Closed captioning of Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by U.S. Waterproofing.
A little seepage in your basement is no need to panic. Count on the experts at U.S. Waterproofing to diagnose and repair the problem. For a free consultation, call 888-SEEPAGE or visit seepage.com.
Tomorrow night, watch contestants test their Chicago sports trivia knowledge for the chance to win cash on an all-new episode of Beer Money, presented by Coors Light. Tomorrow at 7 on CSN Chicago. Five-zip Cubs. Bottom of the 4th. 1 hit for the Braves. That was a Smith bunt single in the 3rd. Oh, strike called. Freeman.
Well, comfortable late for Arrieta. He can really be aggressive here. He's throwing a lot of fastballs. There's a good curveball. Yeah, look at the breakdown, man. He's leaned heavily on that heater, trying to be efficient.
His manager referenced the winning streak that had reached 20 for him personally going back to late July, and said, you know, it ended. Maybe in the end, the silver lining is he doesn't have to think about it, start a new streak. Just go pitch.
And Joe has said repeatedly that he doesn't feel like we've seen the best of Arrieta this year.
Jake feels that way too. Including today, just 51 games left here for the Braves in this ballpark before they move to the suburbs. 2017.
Yep, Brian Jordan during the ball game yesterday come and peel the 2 off there. I don't know who the peeler is. Still Bill Acree.
Hard on the ground, backhanded plays Zobrist. He's got time.
Bill Akery is the traveling secretary here for the Braves. 51 years in baseball, so that's why he's peeling the one off today.
When is Biff Pocoroba going to do it?
Biff Pocoroba, I'd like to see Biff out there. A little rolling office.
Biff never played here. He played over Fulton County.
True.
But his whole career was with the Braves.
We got a little spy versus spy going on here with Arrieta and Markakis. Battling witness protection program beards. Smith brothers cough drops matchup. Oh no.
That is a fair ball. Wow. Markakis trying for 2, and he is safe on a close play.
He just got beat by that fastball and got lucky right down the third base line. Coughlin made this play pretty close. So hit number 2 for the Braves.
Strike called on Garcia. How about Chicago native Buzz Capra? Buzz Capra and Biff Pocoroba. Capra had a strange career, didn't he? Arm injuries ended that career, but in 1974 with the Braves, he led the majors in ERA at 2.28. In the years around that, not so good. Been in a 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Arrieta. Broken bat flare that will get down for a hit. Coming around is Markakis, and he will score, and the Braves get their first run. Garcia with his 4th hit of the series, and it's 5-1.
Braves showing a little fight here. Garcia gets to this fastball, doesn't crush it by any means. Since here where the Cubs playing deep, bites him a little bit. A smart play there by Fowler to get that ball back into the infield and not worry about the lead runner, keeping the double play in order.
Brzezinski grounded out his first at bat, still 8 out of 15 against Arrieta with a couple of home runs. Takes a strike. Got his 2000th career hit in April.
Blue Bayou.
Oh, 2. Oh, 3. So Arrieta makes quick work of Brzezinski. That is his first strikeout today.
Yeah, that's interesting coming off that game where he struck out 12 in 5 innings. But again, a lot of it I think is the approach. One, his approach, very aggressive with the fastball, basically throwing it in there. Let's go, boys. Let's get it on, hoping to get some early outs. And the other thing is just a different approach between the Diamondbacks, who are willing to take pitches, get into vulnerable counts to try to run up a pitch count on them. Braves tied for last in the major leagues in terms of pitches per plate appearance, so they're not a real patient group. Braves putting the ball in play more frequently than the Diamondbacks, but just not finding the holes that the D-backs did.
Too low. A pinch hitter on deck. Brandon Snyder. In the pitcher's spot.
Whoop.
All four gets away. So Peterson. Free pass.
Grab your cowboy hats and boots for John and Farrah Lester's Never Quit Goes Country fundraiser at Joe's Bar on Weed Street. It'll take place July 6th. Join John and Lester, Cub players and coaches, for a night of country music, interactive carnival games, food, and much more country fun. Tickets are on sale now at Cubs.com/neverquit. You like the fried pies? What's the other one? The fried dough?
Oh, yeah.
It's a carnival thing, right? Maybe a little sausage on a
Elephant
stick.
ears.
Elephant ears.
Is that what they're called? Funnel cakes.
In Canada, they call them beaver tails.
Okay.
Because the beavers is a big deal up there in Canada.
Quick visit from Chris Bosio, and here is Brandon Snyder.
The first strikeout of the game by Jake, followed by the first walk of the game.
Snyder, a former Oriole, Ranger, and Red Sox, 29 years old. And takes ball one. So the Braves will get it into their bullpen. After a 4-inning start from Whistler, they made a change tomorrow. It was going to be Aaron Blair. Because of the off day Thursday, they have reconfigured their rotation. So 23-year-old rookie John Gant will make his first major league start. He had appeared in 7 games as a reliever.
So not exactly an ideal situation for Brian Snitker to go short with his starter here today, with a guy making his first major league start tomorrow, but you deal with it.
Take a deep breath just like that. Yep. 2-1 is bounced to Zobrist, and the inning is over. Braves get their first run, but they trail the Cubs 5-1.
My girl Cindy took advantage of Lowe's worry-free 30-day satisfaction guarantee on appliances. So it looks like it's out with the old and in with the new, huh, Cindy? Ain't no thing. I don't need no fancy ice dispenser. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where are we going? Where are they taking me? Yeah, upgrade, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Cindy. This stainless steel feel good on me.
The Drive and Discover event is here at Feeney Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Elgin. Get our lowest prices on our entire inventory. Cars, trucks, minivans, and more Jeeps than we need. All with 0% financing available. Look at this 2016 Wrangler, just $299 a month. Or a 2016 Ram 1500 Quad Cab, $299 a month. Both with zero due. Or this 2016 Dodge Caravan, only $16,997. Find it at Feeney. FeeneyAutos.com.
As a young man, I worked in the steel mills, where I learned the value of honest hard work. It's also where I saw firsthand how lives can be changed by tragic moments, how individuals or their families struggled in the aftermath. And it was then that I decided my life's work, that while I may not be able to prevent tragic moments, I could fight to help better the lives of those who suffered them.
Time now for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. We mentioned some finals from the early games today. Royals beat the White Sox 4-1 the final. That snaps their 8-game losing streak. Chesler Cuthbert had 3 hits, including 2 homers. Big day for Edwin Encarnacion. The Blue Jays win over the Orioles, the Battle of the Birds. Nationals shut out the Phillies 8-0. Anthony Rendon knocked in a couple. We will be in D.C. Monday night. Just enjoying that music.
Gonna bebopping here. A little dude. He's matured early.
All right, baby. Cubs 5 and the Braves 1.
Oh, there you go. You could do a whole segment. Barry White doing play-by-play.
Here's Eric Flaherty.
One of 3 southpaws in the Brave bullpen, and good idea to go left against this Cub lineup today. Flaherty back in a Brave uniform. 1-3 with a 5.71 ERA.
Hayward got the scoring started in the first inning. Second batter in. Homer to right.
Flaherty had been a Brave from 2009 through 2013. Last year he was a Met. Was with the Pirates in spring training and then traded over here to the Braves. Started his career back in 2006 with Seattle.
Make sure you follow In Game Live on CSNChicago.com, presented by State Farm. So the Braves are moving into a new ballpark called SunTrust Park. According to the Braves website, I'm quoting, it will be the perfect marriage of classic ballpark feel, modern amenities, as that one gets away from the pitcher and Hayward's going to beat it.
Could have a little history here. Eric O'Flaherty has never committed an error.
It's a hit. He still has it.
I'm going to file that under the category of a play that should have been made, however. But normally that's going to be ruled a knock. Good for Jason, his second one here today. A perfect marriage between classic ballpark,
modern amenities, and southern hospitality, creating an experience unlike any other. So I'm hearing it's kind of the ballpark village feel in St. Louis, a little bit of the Petco Park and that area feel. With the Braves, kind of running a lot of the stuff around the ballpark. But my question for you, without getting into the specifics of what the park will look like and feel like, if you were asked to design a new ballpark, and there haven't been that many here lately, as that one is hooked into left and gone. A line shot homer that got out of here in a hurry for Bryant as he regains the team lead.
Boom, 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 boom. 4 times the Cubs have gone boom here today. Flaherty, yeah, he can counter a lot of those left-handed bats, but unfortunately for him, Bryant swings from the right side. Got a lot of topspin, but hit it hard enough so it was able to carry over that wall and left.
Ford home run replay. So that is a typical Chris Bryant swing in that he hits a lot of topspin line drives. But I would say an atypical Chris Bryant home run. Right? A lot of those top spinners end up doubles or are caught, whereas most of his home runs are more
boom,
arching,
high, yeah.
towering fly balls. As Rizzo bounces out. Okay, so what would you have to have in a new ballpark? We haven't had that many new ones here the last 10 years. You'd want deep dimensions because you're a pitcher.
Well, I would want funky. I would want some deep, some shallow. You know, I would want some different angles. I would want to create an opportunity for triples, which is a very exciting play.
How about instead of a hill like Taos Hill, you had a valley? Go the other direction.
Burns Valley. You got to run down the hill, like some of the ballparks you played in when you were kids, when there was no fence or anything. It was just a hill, and the ball rolled down, and you had to chase after it.
How about like a cart path?
How about a moat with alligators?
Zobrist bounces out. Moat. Oh, it's great.
So I'm thinking about the new ballpark here. It's going to have their southern charm. I think in right field they should have a big, expansive porch with rocking chairs. People pay a premium to go hang out there and drink their lemonade. And
I like it.
Maybe served by Southern belles with big, fancy dresses and parasols.
Have old Andy Griffith records playing in the background. I'd bring back the bullpen cart.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the baseball cart.
I want my relievers to be driven to the mound, not have to walk.
Plus, think of the sponsorship opportunities with the bullpen cart.
Coghlan strikes out, and the inning is over. Chris Bryant with a 2-run homer. The old frozen rope on a hot day in Atlanta. 7-1 Cubs.
This year, my family didn't want to fight the crowds, so we went to Blue Harbor Resort. There was a huge indoor water park, plus there was the beach. Dad took us sailing on this cool boat, and we even had a bonfire. This is the best vacation ever.
The honor and discipline displayed by our military has inspired me on the mound and in my music. That's why I've always supported programs to raise money and awareness for our injured troops and their families.
USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community.
There's a sound a ball makes when it catches nothing but net. Everyone loves that sound, that precision. At GMC, we get that. Nothing separates the men from the boys like nothing but net. This is the precision of professional grade. Now get 15% below MSRP on select GMC Acadia vehicles in stock. That's over $7,800 below MSRP on this GMC Acadia Denali.